Now at 9, the latest on a fatal crash on Interstate 44 this evening involving multiple tractor trailers. Plus, fire crews in southwest Missouri battle burning railroad ties. And
Republican presidential hopefuls are up and running, and President Biden sets off on the campaign trail. There's one issue you'll be hearing a lot about: the economy. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with the latest coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A fatal crash further ties up traffic this evening in the area of the Interstate 44 bridge repair. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dow Quick. The crash involved 5 vehicles, including 3 tractor trailers on eastbound Interstate 44 approaching exit 18. That's the area where traffic has been slowed since an accident nearly 2 weeks ago damaged an interstate bridge. Missouri Highway Patrol says one person was killed in the crash that happened around 5:35 this afternoon. Traffic has been halted as both eastbound lanes have been closed tonight. Even before today's crash, the Missouri Highway Patrol had said motorists should be prepared for additional delays and detours in that area as repair work continues on the bridge in the coming days. A fire near a school in Exeter, Missouri will be releasing heavy smoke for quite a while. That's the message from the firefighters in Berry County. Authorities were alerted to the fire around 4 o'clock this morning. They say a 200-foot-long stack of railroad ties is burning. The fire has been reduced and is contained, but authorities say it's going to continue to burn for some time. The Alliance of Southwest Missouri hopes surveillance images help police identify the person who vandalized and stole from its Joplin building over the weekend. A staff member this morning discovered the damage, which included a broken window and water pipe, human feces on the carpet, and thefts of a TV monitor, food, and beverages. The mission of the Alliance is to improve the health and safety of area children and families.
When you're in this line of work and you're trying to fight for kids and families, there is an opposition that comes for you. And whether the beings themselves realize what's happening or not, they're almost, I don't want to call them pawns in the game, but you know what I mean. They're going to make decisions, and it just makes our work a lot harder.
Again, that facility is to help area children and families. Arraignment is scheduled for a rape suspect in Jasper County, Missouri. Prosecutors charged Brock Powell of Carterville with second-degree rape. Authorities arrested him on June 16th, and Powell has since posted bail. The Carterville Police Department says the crime happened on April 21st. They say he allegedly raped a female victim, and court documents say a witness corroborated the victim's accusations of rape. We have some hot weather ahead of us. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we're definitely going to heat up as we go through the next few days. Today was hot. It wasn't awful, but yeah, it was hot, 89 for a high. Normal high is about 88, so pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year. But we're going to go way above that mark as we go through the next few days. All right, nothing going on outside for us. In fact, the entire Central Plains look pretty good. We are going to see a few isolated little showers trying to pop up late tonight into the morning hours, but it's still warm. Look at our temps. We're sitting into the mid 70s at this point in time. We're also going to be tracking the potential for severe weather. Look at the date. It says tomorrow night. So it's tomorrow night, not tonight, but we are going to have that chance to get some severe weather in here as we go into tomorrow night. So temperatures really heating up, triple-digit heat, thunderstorms. We're going to break it all down for you here in just a bit.
See you soon. Kansas City University campus in Joplin is celebrating the opening of its brand new College of Dental Medicine. Anthony Saviello has that story.
No one likes going to the dentist, but the poking, prodding, and uncomfortable feelings most of us have come to know when sitting in that dental chair are now a thing of the past.
So I think they're going to learn very easily to adapt to this technology and incorporate it into the clinical practice very easily. When they graduate and become a partner or an associate with a dentist in practice who may not have this technology, the students will bring this and help the dentist incorporate this new technology into their practice.
Dental students at the Kansas City University College of Dental Medicine are getting a first-class ticket to state-of-the-art equipment and hands-on training right here in the 4 states.
The ability to recruit students from the region for the region is a big deal. when you're training the next generation of physicians, or in this case, dentists. So our first class of dentists will have almost half the class coming from the 4-state region.
The new techniques and equipment provided at the KCU campus in Joplin will allow both students and patients to learn.
So one of the nice things about the technology is it helps them stay informed. You know, many people are visual learners. Well, when you see your teeth on a big screen or a computer monitor, you can understand the process that's occurring.
So, with this new crowning jewel of Joplin, the future of dentistry is bright white. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
The first class of students start at the College of Dental Medicine this year. They'll graduate in 2027. Coming up, we're going to hear from experts about some healthy ways to keep your kids entertained over summer break. The child tax credit helped improve the health and nutrition of both children and adults. That's according to researchers at UCLA who studied the program. The policy, which expired in 2021, provided thousands of dollars to some low-income families with children. Doctors say under the plan, more than 1 million adults reported better health and nearly 700,000 households reported greater food security. Currently, 1 in 6 families with children in the U.S. lives in poverty. A new poll finds that some parents don't get medical help when their child has consistent stomach pain. Wow. C.S. Mott Children's Hospital at the University of Michigan Health polled more than 1,000 parents with children ages 3 to 10 years. The poll found about 17% of parents say their child has stomach aches at least once a month. 40% of parents whose child suffers from monthly stomach aches say they have not talked to a pediatrician about it. Medical experts say pain in that area can be a symptom of various health issues, whether short-term or serious. School is out and screens are on. Over the summer, kids might turn to screens more often because they have more time on their hands. Mandy Gaither has some healthy ways to beat summer boredom.
If summer break is starting to lose its sizzle, you're not alone.
After a few weeks, sometimes the newness has worn off and people are looking for new things to do and new ways to occupy their time.
Dr. Gina Robinson with Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital says screens do have their place in a child's life, but urges parents to set boundaries. She says to stick to 2 hours or less a day and break it up into smaller increments like 15 to 20 minutes at a time.
A lot of kids want to spend their time in front of screens all day. Kids are getting frustrated because their parents don't want them to sit in front of screens all day. So it can start to get a little rough.
Robinson says to talk to your kids, allow them to decide which activities to build in during the day and encourage them to get outside.
Bubbles and sidewalk chalk and jump ropes and hula hoops and just things that you can do right outside in the yard if you have a yard available or a green space available.
Other ideas, neighborhood walks, scavenger hunts, a trip to the museum or the library, which can also help when they go back to school.
Countless studies have shown how much kids lose over the summer.
Robinson says playdates are also a good way to keep kids entertained and to keep them being social.
Isolation can lead to a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. It's human to want to connect with people.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, Joplin High School hosts a 7-on-7 football tournament. John Dales is going to have that and more in sports.
Well, of course, a hot one outside for us today, but pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year. But we're really going to heat up as we go through the next couple days. Daylight hours now, evening daylight hours shrinking up on us. So it's actually going to start to get dark earlier all the way until winter, which is always fun. All right, let's check out our drought tracker. We still need the rain. We've been getting little doses, but all of southwest Missouri is dry now. And if you look at Pittsburgh, a severe drought, and then we still have the extreme drought once you get into our western counties. So we still need the rain. We have chances for showers and thunderstorms as we go into tomorrow night. We definitely need the rain. Mid-70s across the board, so it's warm. We have clear skies, not a whole bunch going on. across really the central plains. We are going to get some thunderstorms that start to pop up in northeastern parts of Oklahoma a little bit later on tonight. And for us, we'll get a few scattered showers in here late tonight into tomorrow morning. But look at this big dome of high pressure. So right across parts of Texas, and this is really going to strengthen over the next couple days, and that's what's going to bring in the heat across the region. Also, severe threat tomorrow night, so you can look at the risk. So if we zoom in, northern counties level 1 out of 5, southern half level 2 out of 5. The timing is really going to be about 10 p.m. till about 3 a.m. Main threats, hail and wind. I'm going to keep all the threats low for now, but something we want to watch as we get through the next 24 hours. All right, let's go ahead, step through time for us tonight. You can see a few isolated showers trying to pop up western counties through the morning hours. Most of you are going to end up staying dry. Again, hit and miss little showers through the morning, mid 80s by noon. And once we get into the evening, look at this, we're going to go into lower 90s. So a little bit hotter for us as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Tomorrow night, here's 11 p.m. Strong, possibly severe thunderstorms starting to push into our western counties, right along the Kansas-Oklahoma state line. Driving in, here's 1, 2 a.m. I think any severe threat is gone by about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Then we're going to clear out and heat up. Look at this, triple-digit heat moving in by the time we get into Wednesday afternoon, so it's really going to get hot. Day planner for you tomorrow, a few isolated showers in the morning. High temp, right around 94 degrees. Rainfall with this next storm system. We'll see where the heaviest storms line up, but a lot of areas could pick up ½ an inch, maybe upwards to an inch, which would be great. We could definitely use it. All right, here is your 10-day for you. 94 tomorrow. We're going to make alert days. Wednesday, Thursday, at least possible alert day on Friday. This is due to dangerously hot. Even the humidity is not going to be bad, but still we're going to have heat indices about 110, 112, especially Thursday. Cooling down 90s over the weekend, thunderstorms Saturday.
Cooling down into the 90s over the weekend.
Nice.
Wow, thanks, Doug. Coming up, we're going to look at AAA's prediction for what the roads are going to look like for your 4th of July travel. Rising inflation is not stopping many Americans from booking summer trips. NerdWallet's travel price index shows the total price to travel, including lodging, airfare, food, and car rentals, is up 16% compared to 4 years ago. Travel site Hopper says its users are turning to Price Watch features on their flight and hotel bookings 30 to 50% more than they did before the pandemic. AAA predicts a record number of travelers for the 4th of July holiday. The agency expects nearly 5 million Americans will travel more than 50 miles to celebrate Independence Day. On the ground, AAA predicts more than 43 million people will take advantage of lower gas prices compared to last year. That would be a record. They also expect a record number of air travelers at just more than 4 million people. We could be seeing a lot more flight cancellations and delays this summer. A new audit reveals most air traffic control towers are severely understaffed. Fox Business correspondent Grady Trimble is at Reagan National Airport with more.
The warning from the Transportation Secretary is to buckle up. Expect delays and cancellations this summer. And that's for 2 reasons. The first, a severe staffing shortage of air traffic controllers. The second is the rollout of 5G cell service near airports all across the country. So let's start with those staffing shortages. A new government report finds 77% of critical air traffic control facilities are understaffed. And worse, that report says the FAA has no plans to address the staffing shortages. An industry group that represents the airline says the FAA is on the precipice of being overwhelmed if it's not already there. So that's concern number 1. The second concern is that the major wireless carriers will soon be rolling out 5G cell service near airports, impacting the major air carriers. The deadline, which is set for July 1st, was already pushed back once because that cell signal could interfere with equipment on certain planes. Since then, the airlines have been working to retrofit their planes with the updated technology. Still, about 20% of domestic planes need the new tech or they won't be allowed to fly when visibility is bad. Secretary Buttigieg says this could be the biggest problem causing delays and cancellations this summer. The airlines have said supply chain issues have slowed down their process of retrofitting planes. Nevertheless, the airlines say, thanks to careful planning, Airlines for America member carriers, that's all the major airlines, are confident in their ability to maintain the integrity of their schedules despite the impending deadline. And the deadline comes at a very important time for airlines in general, 4th of July weekend. AAA out with new estimates saying that more than 4 million Americans will get on a plane this Independence Day for the first time ever. At Reagan National Airport, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
Years of chasing children might have helped these folks this weekend. We're going to take you to an unusual race. That's next. On your marks, get set, go. Grandparents lined up at Emerald Downs Racetrack in Auburn, Washington, in what the track believes was the first race of its kind. Taking off from the famed racetrack was about 20 grandparents, all running for the title of fastest grandpa, or maybe grandma in some cases. Although this might have been the first ever grandparents race, the track is no stranger to interesting competitive matchups. In the past, Emerald Downs has held corgi races, bulldog races, and even baby races, which might have been about as fast as some of those grandparents. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, we're going to take a look at a new rule that will be put into place regarding recreational marijuana in Missouri. Plus, a new report finds Oklahoma is producing more medical marijuana than what is actually necessary for the state by a lot. We'll take a look. The recreational marijuana industry continues to boom in a lot of states. In Missouri, a new rule will require labels for many pot products to be less appealing for minors. John Kipper reports.
What we have on the shelf, I don't think that maybe but 2 brands would potentially be compliant with this new regulation.
Jason Crady owns Missouri Wild Alchemy, cannabis dispensary in O'Fallon. He knows the products he's selling will soon look a lot different. He knows customers who rely on their packaging, especially for edibles, and suppliers put a lot of thought into branding.
The colors and the font sizes on the different things do matter, and I think it's important. I think it's a little bit of a kind of an overreach.
Due to a new Missouri regulation beginning August 1st, pot products labels can't include a long list of things like any cartoon or real-life person, animal, or fruit. They can only have limited colors, and the brand name or label cannot be bigger than the word marijuana on the package. Crady tracked down a few products already in compliance.
All solid color, their label's one color. The marijuana is the largest font on the package.
It's kind of if it's not broke, don't fix it situation.
Drew Lammert grows, manufactures, and sells cannabis. He says Missouri rolled out recreational weed better than any other state in the country. But packaging is already tough for kids to get into.
We already could not design our packaging to appeal to minors, and you had child-resistant packaging.
Yet, Folks News 4 found believes the labels could be less kid-friendly.
I do feel like there should be a parental warning for them.
And they believe parents who have weed at home should also be held accountable.
You also have to expect people to be good parents, which is not always the case, and so they just leave their stuff out and then their kids get into it.
Potential lawsuits could come out of the new rules. Lammert points out this line in the state constitution, saying under all circumstances, any such regulation shall be no more stringent than comparable state regulations on the advertising and promotion of alcohol sales. Yet, when you look at alcohol products in St. Louis, they definitely show cartoons and other images that would not be compliant with the new pot rules.
I just believe that this current rule that they have out right now is violating that constitutional amendment.
Lammert says he doesn't plan to sue, but says somebody else easily could.
Seems Oklahoma is producing a whole lot more marijuana than the state needs for medical purposes. That's the finding of a report ordered by the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority. The organization conducted a survey that found the regulated supply of medical marijuana produced in the state is at least 32 times the patient demand. 32 times, maybe 64 times. The study concludes that oversupply is very likely adding to an illicit market by some cultivators and retailers. You can find a link to the entire report through KOAMnewsnow.com. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says he wants to get to the bottom of how the Justice Department handled the Hunter Biden criminal case. Yesterday, McCarthy retweeted a screenshot of a statement from attorneys for a whistleblower who claims U.S. Attorney David Weiss didn't have the authority to charge Biden outside of Delaware. McCarthy warned if the whistleblower's claims of interference in the Biden case are true, it would be a significant part of a larger impeachment inquiry. It's all about the economy, and that's the way the White House is looking at the next 2 months of messaging from President Biden. Meanwhile, some Republicans also hope to use the economy as a reason why they should be the next ones up for the job if they can cut into former President Trump's primary lead. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more.
With his eyes on 4 more years, President Biden wants to make sure voters know he's focused on the economy.
Here's the bottom line. By investing in America, we are delivering results. More than 13 million jobs created since I took office.
The White House announced administration leaders will be crisscrossing the country on an Investing in America tour starting Monday. On Wednesday, the president will be in Chicago for a major economic speech. But so far, voters aren't buying it. His Real Clear Politics approval average only sits at 42%.
The president's economic strategy has powered the strongest recovery of any major economy in the world.
The GOP primary field is hoping to tap into that frustration, taking aim at issues where they say the administration is falling flat.
Joe Biden, in my opinion, John, is an awful president, and we can't afford to have him from age 82 to 86 in the White House, or even worse, have Kamala Harris assume the presidency. That's the stakes here.
But Republican candidates are also hoping to take some swings at their frontrunner, former President Donald Trump. In second place, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was at the southern border on Monday, saying he could secure the border better than both Biden and Trump.
We are going to be the administration that finally brings the issue of our southern border to a conclusion. We either win the election or this is never going to be fixed.
Ultimately, candidates would be wise to pay attention to their economic message. It's polling as the most important issue to voters. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
A U.S. official says the government's poised to announce another military aid package for Ukraine tomorrow. It includes about $500 million worth of fighting vehicles provided under the Presidential Drawdown Authority. Officials say they believe Ukraine lost several such vehicles in a hindered counteroffensive this month. The latest aid would augment the more than $39 billion in assistance the U.S. has provided already. A bit later, investigators are still trying to uncover why the Titanic submersible imploded. We're going to take a look at their latest findings.
I'm just learning this job now. I gotta put my mic on. I know. All right. Turned out to be a hot one for us today. Temperatures right around 90 degrees for afternoon highs. We have dropped off. We're sitting into the mid 70s at this point in time. And it looks like we'll drop back about another 10 degrees as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. So decently comfortable. All right, looks good outside. We have pretty much clear skies. Not too much is going on. We are going to get some scattered thunderstorms that start to pop up later on tonight, kind of northeastern, eastern Oklahoma. We may get a few scattered showers in here late tonight into tomorrow morning. As of right now, radar is pretty clear. Check this out. Big dome of high pressure. So it's centered right across parts of Texas. And this is going to be our heat dome that kicks in over the next couple days. And what that's going to do is really up our temperatures triple digits Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Plus, we have a severe threat. This is not tonight. This is tomorrow night. If we zoom in, you can see level 1 out of 5. Northern county, southern half is a level 2 out of 5. So what are we looking at? So this is from 10 p.m. till about 3 a.m. tomorrow night. Main threats, hail and wind. I'm going to keep all the threats slight for right now, but of course something we want to watch as we get into tomorrow. All right, let's step through time for the overnight hours tonight. Mid-60s. You can see a few hit and miss little guys trying to pop up during the morning hours. So a few isolated showers. Mid-80s by noon. Let's go into the afternoon. We're going to go into the lower 90s for a high. So this is about 6:30. So this is tomorrow evening. Tomorrow night, we watch our batch of storms. Develops out to our west, drives east, right along the state line of Kansas and Oklahoma. I think these will get into our western counties a little earlier than what the clock's saying, probably about 10:30, and then they drive east into southwestern Missouri. Again, some of these could be strong or severe. So here's about 2:30 in the morning. Most of these are gone by the time you wake up on Wednesday morning, but it could be a loud night. Look at Wednesday. Temperatures shoot into the triple digits for afternoon highs. All right, rainfall potential. We'll see exactly where these track, but I do think it will probably put a line of a half an inch to an inch of rain down, which of course we definitely need. Day planner for you, a few scattered showers in the morning. High temp tomorrow, 94 degrees. And look at this. It gets worse. Temperatures go well above 100 degrees. Heat indices about 110 to 112 by Thursday afternoon. All right, let's go 94 for you tomorrow. 102 on Wednesday. We're going to make Wednesday, Thursday alert days, possibly Friday. Triple digit heat, some scattered thunderstorms back in late Friday into Saturday. Now Sunday looks dry. Next week, hit and miss storms. We need them to hit, just not really on Tuesday.
No, we don't really want them for the 4th of July fireworks, although a little moisture before that could dampen the fire chances. Thanks, Doug. Well, it's not just us. Millions of Americans are going to see another week of extreme heat and extreme weather. Folks down south are bracing for temperatures to once again soar into the triple digits, just like here. Fox News senior correspondent Casey Stiegel has more.
The central U.S. is once again baking under a dangerous heat wave that's pushing temperatures well above triple digits this week.
Lots of hydration, lots of water, lots of coolers packed all the way up, loaded with ice.
Millions of Americans, many of them here in Texas, facing heat advisories. In Dallas, forecasters say heat index values could be as high as 110 degrees at times. But further south, folks are bracing for real field temps up to 118 degrees. State and local officials say they're seeing an increase in emergency room visits due to this extreme weather.
The most vulnerable in our population are those who are older, those who are younger, pregnant women, and people that have lung and heart disease.
ERCOT, the Texas power grid operator, believes it has enough energy to meet demand and will not ask people to conserve yet. Still, the agency issued a weather watch through Friday.
Home HVAC systems are the biggest draw on energy across the statewide grid, simply because we have so many different homes and so many individual units that are working to keep those households cool.
And as Texas tries to cool off, damaging winds and possible tornadoes threatened people in North Carolina up through Philadelphia on Monday. The same system pummeled parts of the southeast over the weekend, knocking out power to hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses. Back here in Texas, forecasters expect those record-breaking temperatures to last well into next week. That's the latest from Dallas. Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
Coming up in sports, the Joplin Outlaws invaded Griffin Square off at Joe Becker Stadium. Plus, the MIAA welcomes a new member to its conference. John Dales has that and more coming up.
We're still a couple months away from high school football kicking off in the 4 states, but we're inching closer every day. And one sign of that is several high school football teams being on the same field today over at Joplin High School, competing in the 5th annual 4 states 7-on-7 tournament. Joplin, Pittsburgh, Neosho, Glendale, Mount Vernon, and Seneca are the 6 schools participating today. Things got started at 8:30 and they didn't finish up until the championship just about an hour ago. It's the 5th time that Joplin's hosted the event, and the Eagles head coach Curtis Jasper says he's grateful for every team that made the trip to Joplin this afternoon.
it's great. These coaches that are here, I have a lot of respect for, and we have a good time, and their kids understand that we're here to get better. They're here to get better, and yeah, we want to compete, and someone's going to leave here today with a trophy and shirts that say champions on the back, but ultimately it's about, their kids and our kids all getting better and having a good time.
The wait for college football, meanwhile, is just as long, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Being this morning, Missouri Southern announces the release of its 2023 regular season football schedule. The Lions have 11 regular season games, 6 home and 5 on the road. Every one of them is against an MIAA opponent, and a few of them stick out. First off, they start the year with 2 Thursday evening games at home on August 31st against Northwest Missouri, then at Washburn the next week. Homecoming's on October 7th against Fort Hays State, then of course big rivalry game the week after when Pittsburgh State comes to town. Over to baseball, the Joplin Outlaws red hot recently. Winners of 5 of their last 6 contests entering today, which is the first time all summer that the Nevada Griffins make the trip to Joe Becker Stadium. Outlaws and Griffins with a beautiful night for baseball over at Joe Becker. Pitchers duel early on. Missouri Southern's Steen Lane gets a strikeout for Joplin in the top of the first. Then Jackson Burns does the same for Nevada in the bottom of the first. We stayed scoreless until the second inning when Will Kelly knocks one into left field. That drives in the first runner, but the second runner all the way from second gets thrown out at the plate, and that would be important because as we go ahead to the 4th inning, Nevada had 2 runners on, and then this sacrifice bunt causes all sorts of problems. Lane slips on the throw to first, it gets away, and a runner will easily score. That's the first run of the inning for Nevada. Later on, bases loaded. This ball over towards third takes a crazy bounce, gets away from the third baseman. Everybody's safe, everybody moves up. We're still in the top 4, and an RBI single from Jacob Strobel goes into right field. The Griffins would go for 6 runs, and they lead 6-3 in the 7th. Rounding things out, the MIAA, the home conference of Missouri Southern and Pitt State, they announced today a new member. Arkansas Fort Smith will join the conference beginning in the 2024-25 academic year. The Lions out of Arkansas Fort Smith were members of the Lone Star Conference before the switch, and they've been in D2 since 2009. They'll be the first full-time members of the MIAA from the state of Arkansas, and this addition will keep the conference at 14 member schools because Lincoln University is leaving at the same time Fort Smith joins. That does it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Officials are trying to determine what led to the catastrophic failure of the Titan sub, which ultimately killed 5 people. As the search for answers begins, the wife and mother of 2 of the passengers who died is speaking out for the first time. Fox News correspondent Lauren Green has details.
And we were just waiting for them to come back up.
As investigators try to find out why the Titan submersible imploded during its descent to the Titanic, the wife and mother of 2 of the passengers who died is speaking for the first time since the sub went missing.
I think I lost hope when we passed the 96 hours mark.
Christine Dawood telling the BBC her husband, Pakistani businessman Shahzada, and her son Suleiman were both looking forward to the trip, revealing her son was excited to take her spot on the sub.
But then I stepped back and gave the space to Suleiman because he really wanted to go.
Others on board include the CEO of the company OceanGate, which operates the submersible, Stockton Rush, along with a British businessman and a French mariner. The priority right now for investigators is recovering debris, with multiple international agencies mapping out the operations. A specialized robot called the Odysseus 6000 is combing the sea floor, while the U.S. Coast Guard is working with the FBI to recover evidence. And Canada's Transportation Safety Board is launching its own inquiries, conducting interviews and looking at voice and data records as it tries to establish if a criminal investigation is warranted.
Our mandate is to investigate from a safety perspective, identify what happened, why, and what can be done to reduce the risk of it happening in the future.
Although extensive resources were used in this search operation, officials won't provide an estimate of the total cost, which could easily stretch into the millions of dollars. Lauren Green, Fox News.
Coming up, how an Ohio grandmother is working overtime to make sure that her community pool is able to stay open. A grandma in Ohio took matters into her own hands, so to speak, and decided to do something about the lifeguard shortage. Fox's Ashley Smith has that story.
At Montgomery Town in Sycamore Township, residents enjoy amenities like basketball and tennis courts, green space, and a swimming pool. But that pool has to be staffed with a lifeguard for it to be open. That's where 66-year-old Gail Rogers comes in. Rogers is on the board at Montgomery Town, and she learned there was a need to hire more lifeguards or the pool would have to close on certain days.
There's a need out there, and there's a population that could fill that need. I think it's great to be able to sit out here, enjoy the nice weather, not today maybe, but on other days, and it kind of keeps you in shape. You find out that you can do things that you weren't real sure you could do, like swim 300 yards.
Rogers says she was a lifeguard when she was a teenager and figured she could give it a shot again. She took all the classes and became certified last year. Now she fills in when the other lifeguards need time off.
I have a dog, so I walk the neighborhood. I know a lot of people with dogs, but I don't necessarily know a lot of young couples with kids. So I'm getting to know them. I'm getting to know all the kids. And I think maybe the kids will respond to me as a lifeguard more so because I am older, where they might take advantage of a teenager, especially another teenager. They all seem to be listening so far, so that's great.
Cincinnati Pool Management is responsible for pool maintenance and staffing. President Jeff Bloom says Rogers is a great fit.
It's a treat. It's a wonderful. We love her enthusiasm. We're happy she's here, and she brings a different perspective to the lifeguarding world.
In addition to getting a tan and some extra money, Rogers is learning skills that go beyond the pool, skills that people of all ages could use.
The other good thing is you learn CPR, you learn how to operate an AED, and for someone in their 60s, that's a really good thing to know.
The whole goal of a lifeguard is to spot something before it happens, so they're going to be proactive.
But so far, nothing major has happened while she's on duty.
I did have to blow my whistle a couple of times at kids that were diving when they should be diving, that type of thing, but they all respond great.
When Grandma blows the whistle, you better listen. That is our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a Mexican wolf pup at the Brookfield Zoo. Let's make it a great tomorrow.